Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Group Chat. We have an action-packed episode today. We are talking stimulus. We're talking the Georgia Senate races. And if you wait till the end of the episode, we are giving a big crypto talk, big insight into the world of what's happening.
Tim is just through the roof right now.
We're also giving a lot of career advice.
Yes, a lot of career advice.
You may, at the end of this episode...
Quit your job.
I think at least a third
Tim's already quit.
Yeah. I think a third of our listeners could easily quit their job today. All right, let's get into it.
Cash.
Ladies and gentlemen, Group Chat.
Cash.
It's $1 trillion. Hot.
Welcome back to Group Chat to arguably the biggest day of 2021.
Why is that?
We have an election.
Georgia.
And we haven't spoken a lot about it, but this actually might be bigger than the presidency.
Yeah, this election can effectively neuter Mitch McConnell.
Yeah.
He would literally be irrelevant if the Democrats can pull this off. So all your healthcare will be fine.
Yes.
Stimulus will be triple.
Stimulus people will be getting paid.
It would be, Stimmy Twitter would be on fire.
Yeah, and by the way, I tried to go viral yesterday on Stimmy Twitter. I started saying all these names. Stimmy Hendrix. Then Spencer Paysinger, our friend, said Ren and Stimmy. People said Stimmy Butler. And, just like I said Stimmy Jam and Terry Lewis. And I told Anthony and you that, hey, I'm gonna make this go viral. And then, I want this as a text so that I get credit for making it go viral. It failed. It got a little traction early on, but just not enough crowd participation.
I think you need to be on Clubhouse with all these names.
That's the better
You should have
audience.
just been like Stimmy nickname room.
And then everyone just
comes in with nicknames.
And then they go and tweet about it.
Yes.
I didn't get good buy-in from my Twitter followers on this potential virality. But on to more important things, the election. It's really interesting because I'm not watching the news, and I know on the news it's just all day, every day is this election. It's got to be blockbuster in terms of attention. But your general conversation isn't talking about Georgia. But I don't think people realize if Democrats win, it is for the next one. Then the blue wave, yes, technically happened,
Mm-hmm.
and the policies for the next 2 years are going to drastically change.
Yeah, I think the real difference between Democrats winning and losing, because from a stock market perspective, I think it has zero effect, meaning it's going to be on fire no matter what.
Yeah.
Because the Fed has decided stock market is the most important thing for American psychology. So that's going to be fine. Mm-hmm. But what actually would happen if the Democrats win is real stimulus. So it won't be 600. It would be 2,000, followed by another 2,000, followed by another 2,000 until the economy opens back up. And I think that is the humane thing to do.
And then all you people that are complaining about crime, homelessness, guess what? No one's going to have to fucking rob you when everyone's getting paid $2,000. Just sit their ass at home.
Yes. So I think that the difference is basically, and this is someone who's going to have, I'm talking from a perspective of I'm an investor and I care about obviously the market's being great, but the market's going to be great either way.
Yeah.
The only difference is Mitch McConnell won't be in the way of starving American families.
Yeah. And here's where I think we have to get the stimulus right. This is my only caveat to stimulus. It can only go to people that lost their job or saw reduced wages. That's it. It cannot go to fully employed people. I don't see what the fuck the point. There's no possible way you can explain to me a reason why a fully employed person getting their regular wage should get more money.
And the other thing I want to point out is I've heard the Republican argument, there's so much fraud in this stimulus, there's so much fraud going on. Take California, for example. What they built, they broke up a ring in Los Angeles / Beverly Hills, $20 million that was fraudulently stolen.
Yeah.
But there was how many billions that actually went to the right people?
Yeah.
Sorry, fraud's a cost of business.
Yeah.
Like, that's just going to happen. And don't use that as an argument, because it's not 50% fraud. It's in the single-digit percentage of fraud.
Yeah.
And yes, that's going to happen. There are going to be people that take advantage of the system. That is a cost of doing business.
Yeah.
But 90+% of the funds are going to the right people.
Yeah, I agree. And I think there's like very little argument to make that fraud in the stimulus is nowhere different than fraud in everything the government does. Let's bust open the defense budget and see actually how much goes to actually...
That's legal fraud.
Yeah, legal fraud. Like, yeah, you spend billions of dollars on a fighter plane that never went fucking anywhere. Doesn't work. Lockheed Martin gets money. Oh, we want to go drill here, get no oil. We'll happily pay for that. You give Elon Musk endless tax credits to build a business that's potentially a house of cards. Like, we'll hand out tax credits to white collar criminals all day, or hand out legal fraud to white collar criminals all day. But God forbid you help a person of color get through this fucking time. It's a joke.
Yeah, no, it's an absolute joke. And I hope Mitch McConnell is dethroned and irrelevant. He's in his late 70s. I'd imagine this is his last term.
Yeah.
So if the Democrats hold the Senate, I think, or win the Senate, I think it would be great for the majority of people.
Yeah, I think, look, there's going to be collateral damage, corporate income tax rates.
But that's the argument. I don't think that's going to happen, because I think corporate income tax rates make sense to me. Whether it makes sense or not, I do not think the Biden administration or a Democratic Senate is raising taxes for the next 2 years.
Yeah, I agree. I'm talking longer term on that thought process.
Yeah, and then there could be another election. There's going to be another election in 2 years that, that's going to federally matter, and people can vote differently if that's on the table. I don't think any of the personal income tax shit is going up. Nothing's going up in the near term, because the economy's still in the shitters.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that. I'm not worried about anything near term. And by the way, like, we at some point have to face the fact of how we're going to pay for all this. And I understand you can print. I think you sent around a text, 31% of the supply of the dollar was printed in the last... 35%
in the last 10 months.
That's insane. Like,
and where did it go? Went to the stock market.
Yeah, it all went to the stock market. 28% probably went to the stock market.
Or indirectly, however assets they backed was to make sure the stock market was fine.
Yeah.
That did not go to people.
Yeah.
The city's in shambles. Every metropolitan city's in shambles because the money didn't go to people.
Yeah.
I still don't get how, as bad as the city is right now, how it's not worse. I really don't get it.
It's not that bad.
Like, it should be like, think about the number of people unemployed in the restaurant industry, hospitality, hotels. Like, how are those people even buying food? Especially in a state like California, where there's a lot of undocumented workers who don't even get the normal benefits. Yeah,
so I actually drove, because we were down in Orange County. I haven't driven on a freeway in so long, in months. And so we took the 101 and we drove through, we live in Hollywood, but I don't really drive anywhere except to here. So we drove on the street, then we took the freeway on the 101 down past downtown. And there's so many, like, this did not exist 9 months ago. The encampments of homeless people all across the town is insane. And here's how everyone reacts to it. It's really interesting. I cannot believe the homelessness problem in this city. We need to get rid of them. Not, why are these people homeless? And everyone wants to say, oh, they're drugs. It's this. It's that. I'm like, why did they take drugs? Why don't we actually start looking at the root of cause of these problems, as opposed to just blaming? In your own life, You just like to blame everyone anyways. But when it comes down to actually holding people accountable and helping people out, empathy is something that I think was, to me, the top of mind in 2020. And I just don't see people exercising it when it comes to like their fellow citizen. Because what they don't understand is if you actually cared about your neighbor, you cared about your community, you cared about your city, your state, what happens? Your home price goes up. Your education system improves. Quality of life improves. Everything improves if you actually care about people. And that goes for our politicians. It starts there. We have a president that did not care about his people for 4 years. So, I'm hoping with the rhetoric that Joe Biden puts out there, that obviously instantly has already changed. We also, Democrats, Republicans on the state and city level are all not doing their job. They're not helping bring the cities and people together. But, I get so frustrated when I hear people talking about crime and homelessness, but they don't want to think about, why did these people enter the situation? You would be in the same fucking situation if you could not provide food for your family. You'd be out robbing motherfuckers.
Yeah, it's a structural problem that, frankly, people are just too lazy to solve.
Yeah.
So it's easy to just say, let's just round up the homeless people and bus them to another city.
Like
that's actually what happened in New York.
Yeah.
That's what Giuliani did. And you will find people from New York City saying that was amazing. They put them all in buses and drove them to Florida.
Yeah. And
it's just like not my problem rather than figuring out like what the structural problem is. And you know what actually angers me more than just the lazy like intellectual argument, like just board them up or pack them up and get them out. These are fake progressives.
Yeah.
They all vote Barack Obama, but don't want homeless people
in their backyard. Yeah, as soon as the homeless person's on your street,
or crime goes up, no more Barack Obama. Let's act a little Trumpy and get not my backyard.
Exactly, and make it other people's problems. And we're both.
And I wish people were just honest with themselves about it, because, like, if that's your view, that's your view.
Yeah, but here's the problem: is that like we ultimately can't solve the problem. And if you look at, we've all been all over the world. I've been all over South America. I've been, all over Asia, been all over Europe, and I can't speak to the African continent, haven't spent time there. But I'll tell you, the only two places where I've actually seen rampant homelessness are America and India.
Okay.
In South America, you have the favelas in Brazil, and you have those areas that are just low-income areas. But like what we see in terms of our average citizen could potentially not have a home is really just it's such an American thing, right? India is still a third world country. We're a first world country. Whereas I could be wrong. Are there homeless people in Europe that I just don't pay attention to?
I'm sure.
Yeah. I mean, I don't see it. Like, here's the thing. When I'm walking by, I can go in any street in LA and I'll see homeless people. I don't see them when I'm walking around in Paris and London and fucking Mayfair.
So
I'm just saying, how come those countries have solved it? And those countries lean a little more socialism, right?
Yeah, they provide more benefits. Healthcare is easier to get.
Yes, and they want to make sure everyone's equal. Americans, okay, put aside all the ethnic-looking countries that average Americans don't want to look to. Let's take the white European countries.
Uh-huh.
I don't think they have they don't have gun problems. They don't have homelessness problems. They don't have those problems.
Yeah, and I think people aren't going to realize, like, it's not going to be safe to live in metropolitan cities if we don't solve these issues.
Yeah. Well, that's the problem, is that the majority of the country that votes doesn't live in a metropolitan city. So these problems aren't theirs. They're our problems.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't have local leadership at any of these big cities. Take it LA, New York. I'm curious. I don't know if you saw Andrew Yang is running for mayor of New York City now.
Yeah, I saw that.
He may change the way a metropolitan city.
He could actually create the new
city
model of how metropolitan cities work and actually take care of their citizens.
Yes.
I think Andrew Yang, I hope he wins. When's the election?
I don't know. I think next year.
So
maybe this year. Maybe this November. Could be.
I'm going to Google it. But keep talking.
Yeah, but I just see the stimulus talk and I see the election talk. And the thing about it is, there are Republicans that are unemployed that are not getting the proper benefits. Why don't you want to get the proper benefits? If you lost your job at no fault to you, you should not have to. I don't care who you are. You shouldn't have to bear the burden of that. We should be handing out money to make sure our citizens are safe. That's the part of it's socialism to treat people fairly. That's socialism.
November 2nd, 2021, the New
10
York
months.
mayoral election.
He's going to fucking win.
I think he's going to win too.
I mean, de Blasio is not a popular guy.
No, people do not like de Blasio. I haven't even heard from him. Have you seen him?
No.
At least Cuomo's making dumb arguments all the time on
I think he's taking the Joe Biden approach. He's like, maybe people forget me and they'll vote for me come November.
Yeah, hopefully he just doesn't even run. But
so we'll see. Everyone pay attention to the Georgia election. We're recording this episode Tuesday afternoon, about 2 p.m. Pacific time. I don't think we're going to hear a winner tonight. I think this election is going to be extremely close. I think it's going to, I already saw Donald Trump has tweeted, in Dominion, the ballots are broken. The same Dominion that he was talking about in his rant on to the Secretary of State. So he's already playing his card. Mm-hmm. I don't think we're going to get it. We may get a winner declared in one of the races. I just don't see it ending on Tuesday night. But this is the biggest thing for the entire world, because if it's blue, 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 it impacts the world in a different way than it is if it's gridlocked.
Yeah.
So pay attention, because it doesn't matter where you live. That shit's going to matter.
Stimulus matters. Stimulus is good.
Yeah, and I think we're going to talk about some of the other challenges with that. But, I'm really excited to see how this election and the last thing on the election, if Georgia turns blue for Senate, it's all because of black people.
Yeah, the black vote came out.
I was reading, hold on. There was something to the impact of all the celebrities that are out on the ground. Like athletes, T.I., Stacey Abrams. It's a big, big deal what's happening there. So fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Okay, this is a big one. Our guy, Jack Ma. We talked about it Sunday. It has now taken the whole world by storm. I think everyone just woke up and were like, how is one of the richest men in the world nowhere to be found? It's not looking good. And the reason why it's not looking good, now Wall Street Journal just reported that that Beijing, meaning Central Chinese government, one of the issues at hand is they want all the data from Ant Financial. Ant Financial is the financial arm of Alibaba that pretty much is the way a lot of Chinese citizens bank, and they want that data. Mm-hmm. And I think there's obviously been some concerns on that.
Sure.
You have an interesting theory.
Well, my theory, forget the theory. I think the larger point is, imagine if Bill Gates disappeared.
Be madness.
There'd be a global manhunt for Bill Gates. Jack Ma has effectively disappeared, and all we see are memes on the internet.
Yeah, like when you're like, I even saw. I gotta find this. It is really funny.
And I guess the point is, everyone's like, yeah, China, who cares? They just killed their biggest, most successful business person in the history of their country, and no one gives a shit.
No,
everyone's just making memes and jokes. Liquidity had a great one. I'll see you. They did if you actually.
Oh, I'll see you at Gio again.
Yeah, they did the Ma and G.
Yeah. That's the one I was looking for.
And I just
we've accepted it. This is who China is.
We just accept it. Like, great. Jack Ma was the face of Chinese business.
I've told this story on this podcast before. Several years ago, I spent a lot of time in China, in mainland China, and I went to endless amount of factories. In almost every single factory, at the owner's desk was a fucking picture of Jack Ma, like he was a god. Like the same way you would have a religious figure in your office or like maybe your father or whatever. It was pictures of Jack Ma. I just could not believe it. He revolutionized the country. Like Alibaba connected the entire world for manufacturing.
Yeah.
Right? So he effectively is a big reason why China is the powerhouse they are today. And they just may have smoked him.
Yeah, so if you had to bet right now, your life savings, is Jack Ma alive or dead?
He's alive.
And I don't think China can afford to kill him.
They won't kill him. Those,
He's going to pop up in like the next 30 days saying like, oh, it's focused on personal stuff, whatnot, and have the company line for China.
Yeah, I think, he's going to have to make a decision. Am I going to go out as the martyr?
Which he won't.
Which, because it's his family. I'm sure he has children. He's married. He probably has all these, like, are you willing to risk everything?
Yeah.
Or do you just shut up and dribble?
Yeah, I think they're basically just trying to figure out how do we divvy up his assets and just kind of neuter him a little bit and make him less powerful. Mm-hmm. And they'll let him go, and then he'll just come out and say China's the best president. Yeah. But that's just insane that they can actually do this. Like that would just think about that. Bill Gates, Elon Musk, like you name these, Jeff Bezos. Imagine if they all just got rounded up and put in jail.
Insane. It would be pandemonium.
The country would fall apart.
Yeah. It would literally fall if Jeff Bezos was locked up because he was late on packages.
Like, no, it was basically Washington Post criticized Donald Trump. Mm-hmm. Trump locks up Bezos.
Trump would love to do that.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's effectively what this is.
Yeah. Yeah. He criticized them on many occasions.
Yeah.
It's wild shit.
Yeah. So
wild.
Do you think you'll ever go to China again?
I don't think so.
Do you think you will be arrested on site if you go?
I don't know. I don't know. Do we have any mainland Chinese listeners of the pod? Just text me, I love Xi, if you listen to the pod from mainland China. But I just, I always had it always felt a little, I have walked through the streets of Shanghai and Guangzhou, pissed drunk, never felt like unsafe or anything. Like it's a very safe country. And I have a lot of friends I've made that live in China that I speak to frequently. And it's just a different planet. Like it feels weird, so it's a communist society that allows people to get rich. Yes.
And live great lives.
Yeah.
And as long as you
follow the rules.
Forget follow the rules. As long as you don't criticize the government. Forget the rules.
Yeah.
As long as you don't rabble-rouse, try to fight for human rights reforms, personal freedoms, they let you do whatever you want. But the moment you infringe on that, and it's an interesting way to like build a society.
It's not bad,
because they do have order. Yeah. There's no anti-maskers in China.
No. And by the way, I'll give you how crazy it is. I went on a trip with a very prominent venture fund years ago to Shanghai. And it was their American team and there was a Chinese team. And the Chinese team, they're like mid-20s, brilliant, like probably went to Harvard, whatever, but they're from China. So I'm on a train with them for 6 hours. So I talked to them and I just started asking them questions. And I was asking about just the way this civilization at Chinese is evolving. And we talked about political, we talked about, technology, we talked about everything. And I was like, we got on the topic of pollution. And I said, I cannot believe the pollution that you guys have to live in. Not within a split second of there was no hesitation. He goes, do you know in 1920s during the Industrial Revolution what the pollution like was in London? What the pollution like was name 3 cities. And he said, it is a part of growth, is a part of this. It's like there is not an ounce where anyone I've ever interacted with has criticized the government. Ever. like in casual conversation.
Look what happens.
But I'm just even saying like
they're listening.
Yeah, and I'm even saying
I'm not even like being facetious. They are listening.
And I'm even saying in the sense of like the pollution. They don't even say the pollution's bad. You can't go for a fucking run in Guangzhou. It is thick fucking smog all day, every day. I've only seen bright blue skies like twice.
So I have a close friend that worked in China for one of the most famous Chinese people within China. And they were given rules.
Yeah.
How to move around. Check in with officials. Like, they don't play.
No. Insane. All right. Moving on. So the other interesting news is the economy continues to be struggling.
Mm-hmm.
There's an article that we'll talk about. We'll kind of dive into it right now in this piece. There was a 4% contraction on the GDP in 2020. The World Bank is projecting that this is the lost decade. That pretty much it's going to take nearly a decade to regain the growth levels that we had pre-pandemic. And it's going to be like 1 to 2% global GDP growth for the rest of the decade. And what that really means is, there's also this like technology revolution that's happening where I think a lot of very big entities are going to come crashing down. And there will be this rise of all these new businesses. So like a lot of the folks that listen to this podcast who have emerging businesses, they may not feel that because they're on the right side of history. Whereas a lot of people on the wrong side, where we're dealing with these old world businesses, they're going to really feel the blunt of this whole pain that we're about to feel. The interesting thing is Bentley had a record fucking year. 2020. The car industry did not have a record.
No, they actually just reported today that sales were down significantly. And my guess is there was 3 months where like you literally couldn't buy a car. So I'm sure if you normalize that, it was probably an okay year. But Bentley, which, dealt with the same issues, it is just this, if you don't get concerned that Bentley had a record year in 2020, then you are delusional. And the scary part to me is that it's going to lead to someone smarter, better able to communicate with the same values Donald Trump had.
Yeah.
And you can really create a monster.
Yeah.
Like what Donald Trump did was he spoke to people that were like, we were left behind.
Yeah.
That population is compounding at an insane rate.
Yeah.
So the people that are left behind, it's going to double in the next 4 years.
Yep.
Because what you're saying is right. If you're in technology, you're going to have record years for the next decade.
Yep.
But most people don't work in technology.
They don't. It's
right?
just very. If you look at our podcast, we over-index in that world. So everyone listening is probably like, "Oh, my business is going to be fine." Yeah, your business is going to be fine. But if the rest of the country doesn't get to participate, your neighborhood ain't going to be fine.
So I heard an interesting stat the other day that in China, 35% of college graduates today are engineers, and in the U.S., it's only 5%. Why aren't we screaming from the mountaintops? That's how you, like a rice farmer, and Bill Gurley, the benchmark partner, said, he made the example that a rice farmer in China, that family is telling their kids, you need to go be an engineer. And that's how our family's going to come up from,
That's in India too.
Sure. Why isn't that happening here? Why isn't the rice farmer in Alabama telling their kid, you need to code? Because if you code, you're making 6 figures immediately in your 20s.
Okay. Here, I'll tell you why. We are not that culture. We're effectively, one, education is broken. So it starts with that. It's not affordable for most, so that's not a reality.
But you can learn to code without going to college.
Okay, so
any kid with the goddamn phone,
but you have to
figure out how to code.
But it starts with the culture of. I'm going to get to my point. The first problem is we have a broken education system. So I understand any kid can learn how to code. Sure. I think the kids being born today, yes. A 25-year-old today grew up with a very different mindset, right? Like you went to college to learn those skills. I'm not saying that I'm not, the 25-year-old today can still go and learn without going to college. It's just not there yet. We're not there yet.
But it also comes from messaging from our leadership.
But it's not good business. Here's the problem. Everything is about business. We love business, entrepreneurship, capitalism, not socialism where everyone gets treated fairly.
No, but if we had messaging, even you start like in small cities. Imagine like the mayor of Stockton, California. He's a pretty progressive guy with like new ideas and in a community that's pretty poor.
Yeah.
Imagine if he just went to his little town and said, "Hey, everyone, let's teach anyone under 30. Here's funding. Learn to become an engineer.
Yep.
You can pick up a job, 6 figures overnight, work remotely,
Yep.
and change your entire family's future." Like, why aren't we thinking like that?
You know why? Because most people who have children are like, I saw Ryan's toy make $30 million. I'm gonna get my kid to be a YouTube star.
Like Garcetti should be doing that. LA has a lot of poverty.
Yeah.
Make teaching how to code in underprivileged communities a priority.
I guarantee you more people want to be YouTube stars than
I
fucking
get that,
but that's the culture we live in America. You could be a star. You could be rich. You can make money off Dogecoin. Like that is what we're selling. We're snake oil salesmen to our own people.
Yeah,
we sell fucking snake oil. We love handing out snake oil. We will say the dream: get rich, get skinny, get taller, have a bigger dick, get bigger boobs. That is what we're selling you.
You know what? And the thing is like there's no shortage of jobs if you know how to code.
Unbelievable. It's impossible to find good engineers.
Yes.
Impossible.
Why aren't we thinking like that? Why we can't find one politician to bring this up?
We need some maybe an Andrew Yang.
Andrew Yang goes to New York City and goes to the poorest communities in New York City. I don't even know what the poor communities because everything's so expensive.
Yeah, there's not any in New York City.
But there's plenty of poor people.
Yeah.
Real estate's gone crazy. Go there and say, hey, go to a bunch of 15-year-olds and say, this is how you're going to get out of the hood. Yeah. This is how you get out of poverty.
Yeah. You want a Rolex?
Yes. You'll be richer than a second-round NBA pick.
Yes. Over time, 100%.
Yes.
Over a 25-year
And there's only
period.
30 first-rounders. I'm not saying you'll be richer than the first-rounders.
Yeah.
Second-rounders.
Yeah. You're not going to be LaMelo, but you could be his other brother.
Yeah. It's simple solutions that could solve a lot of structural problems.
Yeah, but guess what? You know what engineering is? Fucking hard work.
Yeah, it's hard.
It's hard. That's not what we want. We don't want hard work.
Yeah.
We want shortcuts. We want to sell our people shortcuts. Shortcuts. We don't want to sell them. If you actually told people actually how to get rich, no one would want to get rich anymore. People would stop.
No, I'm not going to learn. I'm not going to learn AI and figure out machine learning.
No,
that's where all the jobs are going. Yeah. If anyone's listening who's under 21 that hasn't finished college, under 30, that's where the world is, and you will guarantee be rich if you learn those skills.
Oh my God, 100%. Like we know, like no offense, but like we know plenty of engineers that work at like fucking okay companies that have stock that's worth a fortune, get paid hundreds of thousands.
The examples are endless. Very close friend, sister-in-law, 24 years old. Smart girl, engineer, but not a senior engineer. Went to Roblox. She's a millionaire now.
Yeah. Roblox. While you're playing on Roblox, she's collecting.
In 2 years.
Yeah.
She started her job at 24. By 26, she's a millionaire. Yeah. It's not like she was some like CTO or like some senior. She was just like an entry-level engineer at Roblox.
Yeah. And this is, I'll tell you where this is.
The Square, if I told you the Square stories.
Oh my God.
You could be a slapdick at Square.
Yeah. There's a chief slapdick officer that's worth $100 million at Square. I mean, and
it happened. It's not.
And by the way,
I'm not even saying you need to like be this early lucky investor in Uber. Anyone can get these jobs if you just have the basic skill set.
And the reason why those companies are also important to note, one, they obviously are the future, obviously. The other is that world, like what Silicon Valley did to sharing the wealth with the employees. No other industry fucking does that.
No.
You know, in finance, it's only the top Only partners are getting the real payday. You as an analyst got a nice bonus, but
there's no chance to have that trajectory.
No,
in 2 years to be able to make that.
No, sure. and the thing is, and this is where I would give my one piece of advice. As much as I shit on San Francisco, if I was 18-year-old, I'd be fucking moving to San Francisco right now. I would live in Silicon Valley. I would go into engineering. You will fluke in to the next.
It's not even a fluke. It's guaranteed.
Yeah.
If you are an engineer that gets 6-figure in stock options, within 12 years, you're a millionaire, guaranteed 100%. Because you go to a company for 3 years, they fail, go to the next one, 3 years, fail.
You keep trying.
You keep trying.
Yeah. I mean, your friend, I don't know if he listens, but like, his company had a mega exit, and he's gone through 2 failed startups, right? He started 2?
One failed startup, but then the second one should have failed. They made it.
And he is now, he's a fucking superstar now.
He's rich.
Very rich. And if he wants to go do something, he's got.
No, you're right. 2 failed startups.
Yeah. And then look where, he went through the pain of it, but he stayed in that industry.
Yeah, as long as, and like the advice, like I actually was talking to a lot of people about this recently. It's like the last 10 years, if you were somewhat affiliated to technology, whether you worked in the industry, whether you invested, it was almost impossible over time. If you did 10 years of either investing or working in technology to not make a shit ton of money. And the next 10 years are going to be way bigger.
Yeah.
Because in technology. So go to technology.
Yeah. Like there's no reason why okay, if you don't know what companies, sign up for the Axios fundraising newsletter, Fortune newsletter. Every day there's 30 companies that raise $100 million.
Yes.
Go apply for a job there.
Yes.
That's it.
It's really simple.
Get your foot in the door. And these people need so much talent that they are going to B schools and B-level talent and picking up people. Not everyone's getting Stanford engineers.
No, and I think their interview process is very different now.
Yeah.
It's skill based.
Yeah.
It's here's the project, can you do it or not?
Yeah.
And if you do it, you get hired.
Yeah.
That's why Silicon Valley is creating so much wealth. They've taken out all the bullshit. You only had get hired if you went to X school.
Yeah.
Like investment bankers did and private equity firms do. Yeah. And there's private equity firms that literally will not hire you unless you went to Harvard Business School.
Yeah. And they're just chugging out their 7% returns.
Yeah, their returns are nonsense.
Roblox
made millions in 2 years.
I didn't even know what Roblox was 2 months ago. Literally did not know what it was.
Should have been an engineer there.
Yeah, I know. Maybe I should go back to school. But yeah, it's fascinating what's happening. And I think, when you're looking at they're projecting the next decade is going to be horrendous. And if you're in an industry,
leave.
If you're in fucking brick and mortar retail and your company is not shifted to e-commerce and figure that piece out, get a new fucking job.
Yes.
You're done. That company, Macy's, is not figuring it out.
If you work in an industry, so 2 things. If you don't aspire to make more money, fine. And you're happy, great. But if you have aspirations to make a lot of money, if your business is not somewhat tangentially connected to technology,
you're toast.
Yes.
Toast.
Unless you're a celebrity.
That's great. Yeah, and you make great movies,
you're
great
content.
You're a good
actor, good for you.
Yeah.
You can shoot a basketball, good for you. You can throw a football,
or you're really good looking. If you're really good looking, it works out well for you too. Good looking people tend to be fine.
If you can shoot, 100 3-pointers in a row, you probably don't need technology.
No. You don't. But yeah, I mean, I think that's such a, and the thing is it's it's time to cut your losses.
Yes.
You went into an industry because of passion. You went into because it's dead. I can list hundreds of industries that are so obviously dead. If you work in a dead industry and you're not too sure that it's dead, fucking DM me. I'll tell you if your industry's dead.
And then not only that, here's the mantra people need to get out of their head. Yeah, all this wealth was created the last decade in this one industry. Oh, it's over. Everyone already made their money. I'm telling you, I can guarantee, put my goddamn life on it, the next 10 years are going to be 10x in technology than they were the last 10 years. And it's not late. It's not going to be late 10 years from then.
No, because Here's the thing that people don't realize. What happened the last 10 years, all it did was get on people's radar. It's still a blip.
Yes. The global GDP is $85 trillion. Only 10 trillion of the 85 trillion is tech enabled.
Okay, so in 10 years, do you think that'll go to 20 trillion?
Yeah.
It'll probably go to 50.
Yes.
Yes. There you go, people.
The math is simple. We just made everyone rich. Group chat university.
If you're not rich in 10 years and you listen to this podcast, you either better be really fucking happy.
Yeah, if you're happy and you don't care about money, great. And you're just a very happy person.
Yeah.
Congratulations. But if you want to make money, this is how you do it.
Yeah. And if you're in a dead industry and you don't know it, let me know.
Please reach out. I could tell you as well.
Split second, we can tell you if your industry is dead or not. Even if you want to even mention your company too. We probably know, we have a lot of insights on a lot of companies. A lot of people tell us dirt on their company. Yeah. So we'll let you know if we think your company's crumbling.
Speaking of dead industries, Macy's.
Perfect example. They're shutting 45 more locations.
They should shut 200 more locations. Why only 45?
It's 123 total.
Okay, there you go.
There's a company. I know so many people that still work at Macy's. And they get paid extremely well, right? Mm-hmm. From a salary standpoint. But do you truly believe 10 years from now, if you're 30 years old today or 35 years old, 10 years from now, do you want to be working at Macy's? No. You want to be working, go to fucking Revolve. Go work there. Revolve, I don't know if you guys have been paying attention. Their stock's on fire.
Yeah, if you want to work in clothing, make sure your clothing is sold on the internet.
Yes, yeah. If you have to walk into a store to see what you're making,
yes.
It's tough. And the thing is the pandemic has forced companies to evolve and move quickly. And you're seeing who the winners are, obviously. There are companies that are in brick and mortar retail that had a website that just said, fuck it, we're all in on our website. And then there's companies like TJ Maxx that just launched their website and it sucks.
If you're selling office space in 2021, leave that industry.
Yeah.
Office space will be lower in 10 years than it was the 10 years before. Yes. That is an obvious
Go
industry.
sell warehouse space.
Yes. Warehouse space, industrial, hot. Office, done.
Yes. If you're a mall leasing...
Yeah, go sell condos.
Yeah. Go sell condos in Miami.
Yeah.
If you're in real estate, you should be moving to Miami. Sell everyone fucking real estate right now. Mm-hmm. Or move to a different city. Just figure it out. Don't get stuck.
And the office space comment is this is as obvious of a trend. Sure, this work from home that we've had the last 10 months.
It's not going to last, yeah.
But it's not 5 days a week. It's 3 days a week.
Yeah.
And the only industries that are going to be 5 days a week are industrial, which require warehouses and meat plants and manufacturing industries. But corporate office space will be a smaller footprint over the next 10 years than it was the previous 10 years. I can guarantee that as well.
Okay. Next industry.
What else do we shit on?
We're fired up today. It's a brand new year. We're coming out swinging.
Trying to help everyone.
Yeah. If you don't listen, then you're a fucking idiot.
Tim, what's your? Let's gauge your temperature.
Tim's going to get a job at radio. That's what he's going to be, a fucking radio engineer.
An
AM radio engineer.
Yeah, I guess I got to learn how to code. I don't know what I've been doing singing all this time.
Well, if you're not a good singer, then you should start thinking about that. Oh my God. All right. Well, if you've been paying attention to the news, germs are spreading everywhere. It is getting out of control.
It's disgusting.
It is literally disgusting. Do you understand the doorknobs you're touching? You touch a grocery cart, you touch a car doors, disgusting.
And we know what you're doing on the toilet.
Ooh.
You're on your phone.
You're on your phone. You know what? It's time to clean that phone up. And not with some clunky, gross wipe, but with this fancy device that Purelight has made. And you can also have a ultraviolet ray safely sanitize your phone, your keys, your wallet in the comfort of your own home. Head out to purelight.com/group chat. purelite.com/group chat. Use the code group chat and you will get a second one for free. Your one disgusting friend and you can all have a Purelight at home.
Honestly, if you don't buy Purelight, you are disgusting.
Wow. That's a bold statement. So, I mean, you have to make that decision for yourself now. Purelight.com/group chat. Use the code group chat. And there's no E at the end of pure. It is PURLITE.com/group chat. Let's go on to, one of the reasons why all this shift has happened, the Rona.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if you've read this article, but in Costa Mesa, one of the bars that was illegally operating is now being charged with, being open during COVID. And I think a lot of people were trying to wrap their head around, like, if we're just open, fuck it, who cares? What are they going to go do? Now you're facing criminal charges. So, like, there's Mastro's, they obviously don't care. There's a lot of other restaurants I saw in Orange County that seem to be open. This bar in Costa Mesa, West End Bar, I'm curious to see how far they take it, like, meaning the officials, government officials. But I don't know. Do you really want to deal with this by trying to, you're not making real money staying open?
How is Mastro still open?
I don't know. They don't give a fuck.
It's like, I don't know. I guess if the local officials refuse to enforce it, so if you just give the cops free steaks, you can keep open?
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. This particular, the West End Bar in Costa Mesa, apparently the DA in Orange County has declined to file charges in nearly 24 cases against business owners accused of illegal operations during the pandemic. And instead they've reached out. So I think, like, I don't know in this particular case what they did that caused, like, was it like full-on indoor bar party?
Yeah, probably that's what it was. Because, I mean, if they're not enforcing the outdoor tents and outdoor restaurants, then it must just have been so reckless.
Yeah, because they're saying that at time hosting 50 to 70 customers without enforcing social distancing or facial covering for their employees or customers.
Yeah, and the next 15 days is the peak, in my opinion. I think January 20-ish, we're going to see the peak COVID U.S. And then with vaccine rollout, it should, in theory, start going down.
Yeah.
If in February we're still seeing the numbers we're seeing now, something really...
I know the most amount, and I've known people throughout this whole process that have gotten it. The most amount of people I've ever known has got in the last 3 days. And the most amount of people I know that has been vaccinated also.
Yeah, I think what the difference now is the people getting it are the people that actually were somewhat safe.
Yeah.
That actually took it seriously.
I know someone that we work with that literally was extremely safe, and then in November and December they even clamped down even more, and they were just doing like groceries and Costco, and they got it, and they just couldn't believe it.
Yeah, I mean, next 2 weeks, stay home.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, even our friend who went to Miami for New Year's, he's like, everyone in LA needs to stay home.
He's like, yeah, like, don't, you guys all need to stay home. You have children, like, sit your ass at home. So I think everyone's on the same page that, like, this is game time for Corona. So we'll have to really wait and see.
So if hypothetically I have a flight booked at the end of January,
No, you should cancel it.
should cancel it.
Yeah,
You should
cancel it
probably
now.
move it to March. I think by March you'll be fine.
Okay.
I feel like we know enough people that are getting the vaccine kind of back channel ways that we're hearing about. If that's happening now, that means in 30 days the public will have access to it.
I actually don't think we're waiting till June to get vaccinated. Like, I think...
No, I mean, I've been saying this forever. I think by May this whole thing's over.
Yeah.
Between infections rates and vaccines.
Yeah. I mean, look, healthcare workers are getting vaccinated right now. I think they'll all be kind of taken care of in the next 2 weeks, at least the first dose.
Yeah.
And then, I honestly think I'm getting the first dose in February. I don't know how, but I feel like I'm going to manifest that.
Say that again?
By February, I'm getting my first dose.
I think that's right. by end of Feb, I think we'll all have gotten our first dose. But if you think about just the percentage of people that are refused, even among healthcare workers, it's not an insignificant number that is being reported. So take it with a grain of salt. Who knows if these reports are true? But it seems like a significant percentage are refusing the vaccine. So if you just extrapolate that to the general public, it shouldn't be hard to get because everyone doesn't want it.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone who's gotten the virus in the last 3 to 6 months is going to get it. They're feeling real cocky. The people I know the last 3 to 6 months are so cocky, Corona.
Why?
No, they're just like, I'm invincible.
Because they think they still have the antibodies.
They think they have the antibodies and they're ready to go.
Okay. All right. Well, good luck with that invincibility.
Yeah.
So, bizarre story. Tanya Roberts, an actress,
Bond girl,
former Bond girl from back in the day, was pronounced dead by TMZ, all the news sources, on Sunday. Then Monday comes around. They said she's alive.
Mm-hmm.
And then Monday night says she's dead. So her partner, Lance O'Brien, tells TMZ he got a call on Monday night that that Tanya had passed. But the publicist reported on Sunday and said that she was alive. And the publicist and Lance apparently thought she was dead and left without speaking to the medical staff.
But here's the thing. I read the story and it sounds like, did the doctor tell the partner, boyfriend, husband, whoever it is, that she was dead? Because hospital rules are so strict right now. So
no, this is what he says, referring to Lance, which is her partner.
Mm-hmm.
He says he thought she was dead and left without speaking to medical staff. He got a phone call Monday from Cedars informing him Tanya was still alive. Tanya's rep, who picked Lance up from the hospital, says he told him she died in my arms.
So he's lying.
Yes.
You can't get in the hospital. You cannot get into Cedars-Sinai as a partner unless you have a child. If you are an able-bodied adult, you don't get visitors. Doesn't matter how serious, how significant the condition is. That I know for a fact.
That's interesting. It's a complete liar.
He must be lying.
Sociopath.
Because the only reason...
Are you sure you can't visit at all?
I mean, we can find this out pretty quickly if we text Jeff right now. He's a Cedars doctor. But I know the rules at UCLA were if we were only allowed because our kid's 2.
Yeah.
But if your kid's not...
And that was when there was not madness of COVID.
That was October.
COVID was not existent then.
COVID was done.
Yeah.
People were partying. The lot was open. But I mean, I know someone in a hospital right now not allowed any visitors in the Valley.
Wow. So, yeah, I mean, this is Cedars, which is...
Cedars is a COVID center.
Yeah.
I wonder if even pregnancies now, if they changed the rules. Was it always during COVID that both parents could be in? Do you know that? Like, Ollie had a kid in April, and it was a struggle for him to even get in the hospital, right?
Yeah, because they changed the rule like the next day, and he got
It
in.
must be way worse now.
Yeah,
with the number of people.
Yeah, and rightfully so. I mean, unfortunately, just it's safety for everybody.
Yeah.
Super interesting.
So he just lied about being in the hospital.
And so where did he get the idea that she was dead, though? Because he didn't speak to the medical staff.
You said he died in his arms.
Yeah.
So you got it.
Yeah, he just...
I mean, I thankfully haven't been around someone in the hospital that dies. I think if you actually die, things happen pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Like, people come in.
Yeah.
And like,
they do yeah. He just left? She died and he just walked out? It's insane.
It sounds insane.
It's an insane story. Maybe this guy also has some... issues. All right, let's move on to our final topic, as seen on social. I got a couple interesting things. What do you got?
Why don't you start?
So the first one that I saw was Darren Ravel, who is a, I don't know, what do you call him? A sports reporter?
Sports reporter that now works for a gaming network.
Okay.
Gambling.
Sure. This has
Not gaming.
It has nothing to do with either of those. He posted something interesting. Top spirits brands in the U.S. in 2020. Can you guess what it is?
Spirits, so it's not beer and seltzers.
Not beer, not wine.
Some sort of tequila, I'm going to say.
Okay.
Don Julio.
Tito's.
Ah, nice.
10.7 million cases.
So vodka's still hot. All this is bubble talk that I'm the only one that drinks vodka.
Yeah, well, you're when it comes to alcohol, you're like a villager. Vodka is village talk. Speaking of more village talk, Smirnoff is next.
Wow. Tito's and Smirnoff. So vodka's on fire.
It gets better. There's no tequila on the list. Crown Royal.
Interesting.
Jack Daniels.
Wow, these are all old school brands that were hot 10 years ago.
Well, not Tito's.
Tito's probably started coming on the scene 10 years ago.
Yeah, but it's impressive that Tito's has done for alcohol. I mean, they're a huge business. Bacardi.
Okay.
And Jim Beam.
So all I take away from that is when I was in college, that's what people drank. Smirnoff, Jack Daniels, Jim Beam.
Yeah.
Nothing's changed.
Bacardi.
Yeah. Bacardi, of course.
Yeah.
That was basically the starter pack for like a USC frat party.
Long Island iced tea.
Yeah.
Insane, right?
So nothing's changed. This is all nonsense. This tequila nonsense.
Well, I mean, I think if you ask Brian, they're only selling tequila.
They're selling 1942.
Casamigos. I mean, but here's what I would say.
So Casamigos traded like a SaaS business.
Yes. I think 10 years from now, here's the thing. Tequila is a young person's, more young people drink tequila than older people. And so I think 10 years from now, this list looks a little different. I think you will see a tequila brand. I don't know. I would guess Casamigos is kind of the front runner for that. Mm-hmm. But it's insane that these other alcohol businesses, which like, these are not even the sexy ones. Like Grey Goose and Belvedere and Ciroc are so sexy. This is just...
It's also affordable. Tito's is cheaper than Grey Goose.
Yeah.
Smirnoff is way cheaper.
Yeah. So price that matters. Mm-hmm. Price matters for everything, except for Bentley. What else you got?
My scene on social is Pete's business partner, Chamath, tweeted, when Bitcoin gets to 150,000, I will buy the Hamptons and convert it to a sleepaway camp for kids, working farms, and low-cost housing. What do you think, Tim?
I think that sounds like a great idea.
And then when Bitcoin hit 33,000, he renamed the Hamptons the Champtons. I just love his just machismo. Is that machismo?
Yeah, that's what it is.
It's just like, he's like, fuck you. I'm going to say whatever I want.
Yeah, it's awesome. I agree with that. I think it's really cool. It's cool to see obviously a brown person talking like that, but I
think he's purposely doing it because he's brown. Because he runs in the worund of just really rich white guys that just run his industries and like the conversations and fund managers and hedge funds. It's all rich white dudes. Yeah, and he's just coming out guns blazing, like you're gonna have to listen to this brown guy because I'm really fucking rich. Yeah. And I can say whatever the fuck I want. Yeah.
Yeah, and you have to do business with me, so fuck you. You're going to listen to me. Yeah. I mean,
everyone wants one of those SPACs. There's like 23 to come.
Yeah. By the way, if you give me that kind of money, I'd be way worse. I don't even know the stuff that I would say to people.
And I've never met the guy, and you hear many things about him. I will say what he's doing publicly and telling people how to invest their money, what they should be doing. He's doing a public service.
100%. I think a lot of people, I think Mark Cuban does that really, really well, which is just educating people. I think Chamath obviously does a great job. But there's a handful of people out there that are giving people, here's the roadblock, just follow me. Yeah. Here's the path, just follow me. And I think it's super important. It's just whether you choose to follow and listen. I mean, I think he shared, how much his SPACs were up in.
Yeah. So he also tweeted at the beginning of the new year, so 4 days ago, in 2020, I invested $370 million of my own money in a handful of new positions. As of December 31st, these investments were worth $2.03 billion with an IRR of 393%. Follow along in 2021 if you want to play. And he's telling you what he's investing in.
Yeah. And by the way, the SPAC vehicles, anyone could invest in.
Yes.
And you would have gotten the same returns.
IPOC is up 75%.
Yeah.
And it hasn't even closed. So follow along.
Yeah. And, he's obviously very bullish on crypto. So, And
I'll give him credit. Like, this guy has been public about all these positions.
Yeah.
When he was talking about Bitcoin in 2014.
No, there's a video of him in 2011 that someone posted.
Oh, I saw him post it. And he said, like, my hair sucked or whatever,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
And he was
but 2011, he's just saying, like, why wouldn't you all just be a part of this? It's going to happen.
In 2011, I remember him saying publicly, like, Bitcoin is schmuck insurance. That was his famous line.
Yeah.
Like, if the world goes to shit, this is schmuck insurance.
Yeah.
And if you listened, he was right.
Yeah.
And that thesis has been proven now that it's schmuck insurance. Now it's actually turned into an asset class.
Yeah, I don't even think it's schmuck insurance
not
anymore.
But like, the point is, I mean, I can't give him credit for predicting Amazon, but when he publicly went in the Sohn conference and said Amazon, I mean, it's probably 5x since then.
Yeah, I mean,
and he said Tesla.
Yeah,
that's like 15, 20x since he said it.
Probably more.
So the point is, like, he's directionally right in the right industries and he's made billions of dollars.
Well, I think it also comes down to where a lot of people on the crypto conversation, people always feel, oh, buy the dip, or I'm too late to the party. Let's take his analysis of Amazon, which is only recently. Yeah, Amazon's going to do well on the internet, right? You need to understand that, like, that was when Amazon, I don't know how much they were, what was it? Maybe a few billion dollar market cap.
Probably.
Okay. And it's whatever, 7-8x from there.
Yes.
And so when you think about Bitcoin's market cap is what, $600 billion?
Just about.
Just so people know, that's what Tesla's worth.
Tesla's worth more.
Okay. That's nothing. You're talking about potentially, when you think about what Bitcoin is or what any of these cryptocurrencies, who knows how they all play out, there's so much money that needs to be invested still. Even if, like, I think your argument is if sovereign wealth funds and all these people need to eventually have some exposure to crypto, I would argue that they can't only buy Bitcoin because it's just not big enough, right? So they're going to have to they might have to go buy 100 cryptocurrencies because they're just like, I just need exposure. So if you wanted to deploy 50 billion in crypto today, you fucking couldn't. And you would shoot yourself in the foot.
And the other argument is that I've always made is, if you believe Bitcoin's going to exist in 10 years, okay, it has to 10 to 50x from here. Right. In 2 years, 3 years. It has to. Otherwise, it goes to zero.
Yeah.
So it's either going to zero or it's going to be 50x from today.
Yeah. And so when you're buying it, you're thinking...
So if you believe Bitcoin's going to exist, which I think at this point, unless the chain gets hacked, it's going to exist.
Yeah.
So it's binary.
Yeah. I don't think people understand. It's funny, like, even the Amazon argument is like, why wouldn't you buy Amazon right now?
Yeah. Do you think Amazon's going to exist in 10 years?
Like, it's better. I would rather have my money in Amazon than my checking account.
Yeah, 100%.
What, I get zero on my checking account.
You're probably losing money with inflation.
Yeah. So at least I know in 10 years, Amazon's probably going to 5x.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a pretty simple trade.
Yeah.
Facebook, you can argue regulations, Google regulations. So while I think they're both going to be worth way more in 10 years, there's somewhat of a risk. What's the risk on Amazon? Yeah. They're not even a monopoly.
No.
They're like 10% of retail.
No. And by the time they get to 50%, the stock would have 20x, and then you could sell it. If you
I don't even know if they're 10%. I might have be off on that, but it's low.
Yeah.
It's not even close. The regulations just aren't going to happen.
Yeah. And who's going to regulate it? No one's going to figure out what even they do.
Yeah.
It's insane.
That's all we got. Do we have any shout outs?
Probably.
If you said as a shout out to you.
Yeah. Let's just start listing off some names.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Bill.
Jack.
Yeah, Jack.
And then, sign up for the Grand Running Club Run Challenge.
Yeah, how's that going?
It's good. We have about 500 people now. It's not too late to join. It doesn't take all month to run 75 miles. So if you feel like it's equivalent to like, you're not late to Bitcoin. You're not late to Amazon. You're not late to the Grand Running Club Challenge.
No.
You could still sign up, 75 miles, walk or run. And even if you signed up on the 10th and you only had 20 days to do it, 3.5 miles a day is not a lot.
I'm at least 10 miles in.
Are you tracking?
Yeah, I mean, I have my phone.
Okay.
Maybe you should make a bundle. Sign up for Grand Running Club and you get some Bitcoin.
Well, I'm charging $10, but I'm losing money on it because I'm making a hat. I'm giving all this free shit. I could charge you $100 and I'll give you some Bitcoin.
I think I'm in. Sign me up.
I'll give you $50 of Bitcoin, a hat, and a free Menlo Club membership if you sign up for the Grand Running Club Challenge.
Those things are all I need to get by in this life.
By the way, on the last crypto conversation, Anand, like, I don't know, a month ago, talked to some investment he did that went south, and he was like, the guy went into crypto, and he said, go, Anand's like, what's hot in crypto? And he says, Polkadot and Cardano.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't even do any research, didn't think about it. I was like, I'm going to buy some of this shit. So I put very little money, but I did it. I bought Cardano.
Uh-huh.
Up 75%.
Oh my God.
I'm hot.
Wow.
And by the way, I mean, every day I look at Cardano, it's up 10%.
What's Cardano trading at?
26 cents.
No way.
Yes.
Because you bought it at like 15 or 16 cents, right?
Yeah, maybe 14. I forgot.
Wow.
I told them if
Zoom out, baby.
If Cardano goes to 10,000, I'm gonna be a rich man. If Cardano goes to 10,000, I'm buying Malibu.
No, yeah. That's good.
Downloading Coinbase.
Cardano's not available on Coinbase.
That's why I didn't buy it. It's not on Coinbase.
It's actually a pain in the ass to buy, but it's hot.
The same guy, I'll give another tip, and everyone can go do their own research on how to figure this out. He said the last 12 months was DeFi. The next 12 months is staking.
Yeah.
Do your research.
Yeah. Staking's hot.
Staking?
Yeah.
Okay.
Governance and staking.
Free money and staking. It's free money.
Tim. Technology, Tim. That's the lesson of the episode. Go get rich. Signing off. Peace.
Bye.